Do, 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 do. Alrighty, get here. Let's just get saddled up and get back to learning about gymnastics and all about the competition side and the. Yeah, drinking water right now. Do. Surprisingly, I couldn't get alcohol, but water can suffice. We're going down at the contents, and we got to go back to where we left off. So it looks like the contents, the contents doesn't show where we left off. So let's just go back to. Actually, let me just scroll down here. See what we have seen, and then catch up where we left off. So yeah, we're under the rhythmic gymnastics. We left off with clubs and rope, and then we haven't moved on trampoline. So let's go under clubs. I just talked briefly about these first paragraphs, but since we have more time, we could just go do them. We're actually midway, so another hour should actually be good to actually finish up this page. Excuse me. So let's start from clubs. This is under, again, rhythmic gymnastics Spartus, which is under rhythmic gymnastics, but everything down here is all related to the FIG. FIG recognized disciplines, because everything we're learning has to do with their standards, how they evaluate the skills and how you're supposed to perform these moves. Which, yeah, I had thoughts about that, but that'll be later. Clubs. Multi-piece clubs are the most popular clubs. The club is built along an internal rod, providing a base on which a handle made of polyfin plastic is wrapped, providing an airspace between it and the internal rod. The airspace provides flex, cushioning impact, making the club softer on the hands. Foam ends and knobs further cushion the club. Multi-piece clubs are made in both a thin European style or larger bodied American style in various lengths, generally ranging from 19 to 21 inches, 480 to 530 millimeters. The handles and bodies are typically wrapped in decorated plastics and tapes. The skills involved are apparatus, mastery, and body to the body elements. Clubs are thrown from alternate hands. Each passes underneath the other clubs and is caught in the opposite hand to the one from which it was thrown. At its simplest, each club rotates once per throw, the handle moving down and away from the thrown hand at first. However, double and triple spins are frequently performed, allowing the club to be thrown higher for more advanced patterns and to allow tricks such as 360s to be performed underneath. Rope. This apparatus may be made of hemp or a synthetic material which retains the qualities of lightness and suppliness. Its length is in proportion to the size of the gymnast. The rope should, which held down by the feet, reach both of the gymnast's armpits. 1 or 2 knots at each end are for keeping hold of the rope while doing the routine. At the ends, to the exclusion of all other parts of the rope, an anti-slip material, either colored or neutral, may cover a maximum of 10 centimeters, 3.94 inches. The rope must be colored either all or particular or partly, and may either be of a uniform diameter or be progressively thicker in the center, provided that this thickening is of the same material as the rope. The fundamental requirements of a rope routine includes leaps and skipping. Other elements include swings, throws, circles, rotations, and figures of 8. In 2011, the FIG decided to remove the use of rope from the program of senior individual competitions. It is still used in junior competitions and occasionally on the program of senior group competitions, e.g., 2017 through 2018. Trampoline. 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 Our tumbling consists of 4 events: individual and synchronized trampoline, double mini trampoline, and tumbling, also known as power tumbling or rod floor. Since 2000, individual trampoline has been included in the Olympic Games. The first World Championships were held in 1964. Also, there's the main article of trampoline. So, trampoline or trampoline gymnastics. Going down here under trampoline. See what else is there. Individual trampoline. Individual routines in trampoline involves a building up phase during which the gymnast jumps repeatedly to achieve height, followed by a sequence of 10 bounces without pause, during which the gymnast performs a sequence of aerial skills. Routines are marked out of a maximum score of 10 points. 10 points. Additionally, points with no maximum at the highest levels of competition can be earned depending on the difficulty of the moves and the length of time taken to complete the 10 skills, which is an indication of the average height of the jumps. In high-level competitions, there are 2 preliminary routines, one which has only 2 moves scored for difficulty, and one where the athlete is free to perform any routine. This is followed by a final routine, which is optional. Some competitions restart the score from 0 for the finals, others add the final score to the preliminary results. Double mini trampoline competitor. As you see, she's diving into the green water versus the blue water of the mat. But when it comes to diving, it's not great to dive head first. You can do that under pools if you actually know you actually have space. It doesn't make no sense to dive first in a kiddie pool. But, for this case, she is an expert in her field, so she knows what to do. Unless she's screwing it up. Which means that intentionally do that. She knows the risks, but you have to. Synchronized trampoline. Synchronized trampoline is similar, except that both competitors must perform the routine together, and marks are rewarded for synchronization, as well as the form and difficulty of the moves. Yeah. Points. It's all about points. You gotta earn a lot of points for XP and leveling up. Double mini trampoline. Double mini trampoline involves a smaller trampoline with a run up. 2 scoring moves are performed per routine. Moves cannot be repeated in the same order on the double mini during a competition. Skills can be repeated if a skill is competed as a mounter in one routine and a dismount in another. The scores are marked in a similar manner to individual trampoline. Tumbling. In tumbling, has its own article as here, along with Tumbling Gymnastics. In tumbling, athletes perform an explosive series of flips and twists down a sprung tumbling track. Yes, Aaron is doing motions with the hands of it flipping and then creating an explosion, then twisting. Oh man, what an explosive set of moves. It's blowing my mind. Scoring is similar to trampoline. Tumbling was originally contested as one of the events in men's artistic gymnastics at the 1932 Summer Olympics, and in 1955 and 1959 at the Pan American Games. From 1974 to 1998, it was included as an event of both genders at the Acrobatic Gymnastics World Championships. This event has been contested since 1976 at the Trampoline and Tumbling World Championships. Tumbling is competed along a 25-meter sprung tack with a 10-meter run up. A tumbling pass or run is a competition of 8 skills with an entry skill, normally a round off, to whips and into an end skill. Usually the end skill is the hardest skill of the pass. At the highest level, gymnasts with perform transition skills. These are skills which are not whips. Instead, there are double or triple somersaults, normally competed at the end of the run, now competed in the middle of the run, connected before and after by either a whip or a flick. Now we're under common types of skills. In tumbling, explained, skill. Round off, end skill, flick, whip, double somersault, triple somersault, twisting somersault, competition somersault, and transition skill. And then, it explains there, so let's just quickly go here. Flick. A long somersault where a gymnast moves from feet to hands to feet again in backwards motion. Then let's go with round off. A common entry skill seen in every type of gymnastics to turn horizontal speed into vertical speed. So yeah, as you can see here from the double, triple twisting, these go from easiest to the hardest. But another way to look at it is its skill should be learned first as a beginning skill because they later build up towards it. And remember, this is under tumbling, common types of skills in tumbling. Competition is made up of qualifying rounds and a final round. There are 2 different types of competition in tumbling, individual and team. In the team event, 3 gymnasts out of a team of 4 compete 1 run each. If one run fails, the final member of the team is allowed to compete with the 3 highest scores being counted. In the individual event qualification, the competitor will compete 2 runs, 1 a straight pass, including double and triple somersaults, and a twisting pass, including full twist whips and combination skills such as full twisting, double, straight, full, and back. In the final of the individual event, the competitor must compete 2 different runs, which can be either twisting or straight, but each run normally uses both types, using transition skills. Hydrating. Oh, alrighty. Acrobatic gymnasts. They also have their thing here. One person is hovering while another person's holding, while another person is holding but in the wrong directions while they're trying to helicopter their way out of the stage. I see it. They're also trying to do that, except they only have one person. There's no stable platform. Acrobatic gymnastics. Formerly sports gymnastics. Acrobatics. Not gymnastics. Acrobatics. Often referred to as acro if involved with the sport. Acrobatic sports, or simply sports acro, is a group gymnastic discipline for both men and women. Acrobats in groups of 2, 3, and 4 perform routines with the heads, hands, and feet of their partners. They may, subject to regulations, e.g. no lyrics, pick their own music. So they probably put some Eurobeat about gas, which can either pump people up or have them confused and then later have them pumped up. Yeah, that's Eurobeat. There are 4 international age categories: 11 through 16, 12 through 18, 13 through 19, and senior 15 plus, which are used in the World Championships and many other events around the world, including the European Championships and the World Games. All levels require a balanced and dynamic routine. 12 through 18, 13 through 19, and seniors are also required to perform a final combined routine. Currently, acrobatic gymnasts or gymnastics oh score acrobatic gymnastics score is marked out of 30 for juniors and can be higher at senior fig level based on difficulty. Difficulty. An open score, which is the sum of difficulty values of elements valued from the tables of difficulty successfully performed in exercise, divided by 100. This score is unlimited in senior competition. Execution. Judges give a score out of 10 for technical performance, how well the skills are executed, which is then doubled to emphasize its importance. Artistic. Judges give a score out of 10 for artistry, the overall performance of the routine, namely choreography. Acrobatic women's pair performing a skill along with pairs. They're pairing up to get a signal because they need cell coverage. This woman needs cell coverage because she needs to talk to her family. So that's the. There are 5 competitive event categories: women's pairs, mixed pairs, men's pairs, women's groups, men's groups, socks groups. Yeah, they don't have sock groups. Oh. The World Championships have been held since 1974. Acrobatic Gymnastics. I should just finish this. Acrobatic Gymnastics. Acrobatic Gymnastics, formerly sport acrobatics, involves the performance of routines by individuals, pairs, trios, groups with 5 people, and acrobatic dance and aerobic step, 8 people, strength, flexibility, and aerobic fitness rather than acrobatic or balance skills are emphasized. Routines are performed for all individuals on a 7x7 meter floor and also for 12 through 14 and 15 through 17 trios and a mixed pairs because ages is a requirement depending on who you work with. From 2009, all senior trios and mixed pairs were required to be on a larger floor, 10 by 10 meter. All groups also perform on this floor. Routines generally last 60 through 90 seconds depending on age of participant and routine category. The World Championships have been held since 1995. The events consist of individual women, individual men, mixed pairs, trios, groups, dance, and step. Parkour. On January 28, 2018, parkour was given the go-ahead to begin development as a FIG sport. The FIG is planning to run World Cup competitions from 2018 onwards and will hold the first Parkour World Championships in 2020. The events consist of speed running and freestyle. Speed run and freestyle. Just those two. And yeah, this will go under the FIG category and stuff like that. Now we get to learn about other disciplines. Woohoo! Finally. That's aesthetic group gymnastics. Oh yeah. And we got a disclaimer here. The following disciplines are not currently recognized by the International Federation of Gymnasts or Gymnasts. International Gymnastics Federation. Why did we have this here then? Just hey, same. Alright, I digress. As aesthetic group gymnastics, AGG, was developed from the Finnish. Yeah. See this word? Let's just zoom here with quotes. Yeah, this word. Nazi Voltstol. It differs from rhythmic gymnastics in a in that body movement is large and continuous, and teams are larger. Athletes do not use apparatus in international AGG competitions compared to rhythmic gymnastics, where ball, ribbon, hoop, and clubs are used on the floor area. The sport requires physical qualities such as flexibility, balance, speed, strength, coordination, and sense of rhythm, where movements of the body are emphasized through the flow, expression, and aesthetics appeal. A good performance is characterized by uniformly and simultaneously. Okay, let me repeat that. By uniformity and similarity. Similarity? Yeah, I did. Let's go back to pronunciation thing. I haven't did that for a while. I usually just trugged on, but it's important to know your words. Gotta remember that. Okay, dookies. Okay, yeah. There's no fault of me understanding. Okay, let's practice. Simultaneity. 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 Uniformity and simultaneity. Alright. Competition program consists of versatility and varied body movements such as body waves, swings, balance, pivots, jumps, and leaps, dance steps, and lifts. International Federation of Athletic Group Gymnastics. Okay. Gotcha. IFAGG. IFAG. Alrighty. Was established in 2003. The first Athletic Group Gymnastics World Championship was held in 2000. Oh, no acronym? Oh. How? How undeserving. Men's Rhythmic Gymnastics. Men's Rhythmic Gymnastics is related to both men's artistic gymnastics and wushu martial arts. Ooh, martial arts. Let's just go down here. Wushu or Chinese Kung Fu is a hard and soft complete martial art as well as a full contact sport. Yeah, along with it also, being part of contact sport, it is a competition. Uh, so yeah, wonder I wonder why they're not together. Maybe it's just don't get confused. So that's why you have wushu martial arts just here. Okay. It emerged in Japan from stick gymnastics. Stick gymnastics, which, yeah, bench does not exist. Oh. Has been taught and performed for many years with the aim of improving physical strength and health. Male athletes are judged on some of the same physical abilities and skills as their female counterparts, such as hand, body, eye coordination, but tumbling, strength, power, and martial arts skills are the main focus as opposed to flexibility and dance in women's rhythmic gymnastics. There are a growing number of participants competing alone and on a team. It is the most popular in Asia, especially in Japan, where high school and university teams compete fiercely. As of 2002, there were 1,000 men's rhythmic gymnastics in Japan. The technical rules for the Japanese version of men's rhythmic gymnastics come around the 1970s. For individuals, only four types of apparatus are used: the double rings, the stick, the rope, and the clubs. Groups do not use any apparatus. You know what? I I have stumbled with trying to pronounce this, so let's not try to create any regrets and any problems with me, and just figure out how to pronounce. Apparatus. I've been pronouncing it like apparatus. It's an apparatus. That's why I go to the definition. An appliance or device for a particular purpose. So that's an apparatus. 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 Well, that's why I'm doing this. I made a mistake and I am correct myself. And I just got to keep in mind and establish a habit of doing that. Let's move on. The Japanese version includes tumbling performing on a spring floor. Points are awarded based a 10-point scale that measures the level of difficulty of the tumbling and apparatus handling. Yay! On November 27th through 2009, 2003. Oh, no, not 2009. November 27th through 29th, 2003. Japan hosted the first edition of the Men's Rhythmic Gymnastics World Championship. 2009? Oh, yeah, that's like 11 years ago. I thought I also said 2029, which is 9 years later. That now. I got confused. Trying to get better at actually reading through this, so I've been having my eyes read a little bit more faster while I pronounce it, and I'm getting a bit of a hang of it, but that's something I've been developing. I could probably, well, later I can actually spend had some free time. I could just quickly search, hey, how to be good at public speaking and reading in particular speeches ahead of time, and look for ways to add it, but well, it's what is it? Yeah, the most common ones is to read the message beforehand or to break it down. But I have some ideas. I think I'm intentionally doing it unconsciously. But yeah, I'm just lazy and easy and to see what goes. Eventually I practice everything when it comes to a point. So I won't get stressed out while I also do other actions. Okie dokie. The events consist of stick, clubs, rope, double rings, group. Team Gym. Team Gym is a form of competition created by the European Union of Gymnastics, namely originally Euroteam. The first official competition was held in Finland in 1996. The Team Gym event consists of 3 sections: women, men, and mixed teams. Athletes compete in 3 different disciplines: floor, tumbling, and trampede. Trampede, in common for the performance and effective teamwork. Good technique is the element and spectacular aerobic skills. There is no world championships, however, there have been a European Championships held since 2010. Besides not pronouncing words, I actually was able to do it freely. But I gotta make sure I have my energy for the entire session. Now that's the kicker. Wheel gymnastics. Real gymnastics. Real gymnasts. Oh, copy there. Real gymnasts do exercises in a large wheel known as a Ron Weasley. So Ron Weasley is a German guy. Okay, I didn't know he was German. Ron Ride gymnastics wheel, gym wheel, German wheel. So that's an exercise. One raid. Let's pronounce it. In the beginning, also known as arrow wheel, and Ron wheel. There are 4 core categories of exercise: straight line, spiral, vault, and Sir wheel. First World Championships was held in 1995. I'm gonna I'm gonna find the pronunciation for this. Surreal album. Surreal is the upcoming 11th studio album of American alternate rock band Smashing Pumpkins. The Smashing Pumpkins. Eh, I didn't know it's music. Let me at least try to figure out what's pronounced. Sear. So it's just sear. Okay. Straight line, spiral, vault, and sear wheel. Makahaba. Malaka Haba. Wal Ak Hamba. Malaka Hamba. I forgot the link. Wait, this is Thai, so yeah. Or yeah, I don't know much about this dialect, but it's very equivalent to the texture, uh, the language, the written language in Thailand. Is there a traditional Indian sport in which gymnasts perform feats and poses in concert with a vertical wooden pole or rope? The word also refers to the pole used in the sport. Hey, let me actually go to side quest because this actually makes me interested. Trying to find language maybe because yeah, it does look like something language style, but I actually don't know much. And it says Indian, so Martha. Because I somewhat already know what Hindi looks like, but there's just so many languages in India. Martha is an Indo-European language spoken primarily by around 3 Marthi people of Maharashtra, India. Okay, so yeah, this is actually one of the languages. Oh, and there's exercise with this guy. So any bodily activity that enhances or maintains physical fitness and overall health and wellness. Any bodily activity. Hmm. You know what that means? Because it's November. Any bodily activity. Like No Shave November. Ooh. I didn't know shaving could be exercise. Should have a competition of it. The word also refers to the pole used to sport. Yeah, went through here. Malaka Hamba derives the terms mala, which denotes a wrestler, and kahamba, which means a pole. Malaka Hamba can therefore be translated as English as pole gymnastics. On April 9th, 2013, the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh declared Makahaba. Oh, Makahaba, it's a state sport. Okay, I think my mispronunciation of words is giving me some heartache right now. Literally. Okay, dokie. Now we're under the non-competitive gymnastics. Oh yeah, as you can also see, we haven't talked anything about these point systems here. We've just been talking about straight old uh, what did it do? Straight old history on how to perform the exercises. All that jazz, not the performance aspect. Oh yeah, go ahead. General gymnastics, also known as gymnastics for all, enables people of all ages and abilities to participate in performance groups of 6 to more than 150 athletes. They can perform synchronized choreographed routines. Troop Troppies. I keep on thinking triplets, but troppies. Let's look at pronunciation. Troopy profit. Troopy. Trope? But this is spelled differently. What? Yeah, let's go with pronunciation. Okay, let me just look that and let me change it. The ROU. Oh, okay. Yeah, troop. As it said here, troop. So troops, accompanying a group of actors, dancers, or other performers. Also, for troop, as spelled here, uh, that will be referring to the military aspect. But for here, it is the group of actors, dancers, and other performers. Troop, troop, military personnel. So that's interesting. Well, this actually makes sense. A troop, a company, particular companies of players, because yeah, troops later became important due to the formation of companies and tactics when it comes to grouping particular people. So in the modern military, you have that type of command structure to organize troop movements. So yeah, actually, that's a resemblance of it. They all belong to a company, which is a group of people. Okay. Troops may consist of both genders and are separated into age divisions. The largest general gymnastics exhibit is the quadrennial World Gymnastrata, which was first held in 1939. In 1984, Gymnastics for All was officially recognized first as a sport program by the FIG. Wait, let me remember what it is. International Gymnastics Federation. Yeah, FIG means this. FIG, Federation International Gymnastics, International Gymnastics Federation. And then you have that obscure French phrase. It's been up. It's not even hyperlinked. Okay. Okay. And subsequently by national gymnastic federations worldwide, with participants that now number 30 million. Oh, levels. In the US, gymnastics levels for women called the Junior Olympic Program begins at 1 and goes to 10. Elite can't follow 10 and is generally considered Olympic level. Men's gymnastics, or the Junior Olympic Program, consists of 10 levels of training or competition with multiple age groups at each level, creating opportunities for athletes and coaches to participate and or compete. Scoring. Code of points. An artistic gymnast's score comes from deductions taken from the start value of a routine's elements. The start value of a routine is based on the difficulty of the elements that gymnast attempts and whether or not the gymnast meets composition requirements. Composition requirements are different for each apparatus. This score is called the D score. Deductions in execution and artistry are taken from the maximum of 10. The score is called the E score. Final score is calculated by adding the D and E score. So yeah, you gotta count the D and the E. D. The current method of scoring by adding D and E score to give the final score has been in place since 2006. The current method is called quote open end quote quote. open end scoring because there are no theoretical cap. Okay. Although there is a practical cap, the D score and hence the total possible score for a routine before 2006. A gymnast's final score is deducted from a possible maximum of 10 for a routine. So that's a theoretical cap. Wow. Well, that's scoring, and take it seriously. A code of points or guidelines for scoring a routine's difficulty and execution is likely revised for each quadrennium, or a period of 4 years, culminating in the Olympics year. So yeah, quad, that usually would be 4. Renum, renum. Let's the pronunciation. Mon. Actually, no, it's here. Hey. Audio unavailable. Great. Thank you. By any chance, let me actually see if they have pronunciation here. Quadranium. 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 Okay. Okay. Landing. In a tumbling pass, dismount, or vault, landing is the final phase following takeoff and flight. This is a critical skill in terms of execution of competition scores, general performance, and injury occurrence. Without the necessary magnitude of energy disposition during impact, the risk of sustaining injuries during somersaulting increases. These injuries commonly occur at the lower extremities, such as cartilage lesions, ligament, ligma, oh, tears, ligament tears, and bone bruises, fractures. To avoid such injuries and to receive a high performance score, proper technique must be used by a gymnast. The subsequent ground contact or impact landing phase must be achieved using a safe, aesthetic, and well executed double foot landing. A successful landing in gymnastics is classified as soft, meaning the knee and hip joints are at greater than 63 degrees of flexon. Flexon. Not flex tape, just flex on. 35. Basic landing. Oh, okay. A higher flight phase results in a higher vertical group reaction force. Vertical group reaction force represents an external force which the gymnasts have to overcome with their muscle force and affects the gymnast's linear and angular momentum. Another important variable that affects linear and angular momentum is the time the landing takes. Gymnasts can decrease the impact force by increasing the time taken to perform the landing. Gymnasts can achieve this by increasing hip, knee, and ankle amplitude. 35. Onward to former apparatus and events. Rope climbing. General competitors climb either a 6 meter, 6.1 meter equals 20 feet in the US, or 8 meter, 7.6 meter, 25 feet in the US. 38 millimeter diameter, 1.5 inch natural fiber rods for speed, starting from the seat position on the floor and using only the hands and arms. Kicking the legs is a kind of tried was normally permitted. Many gymnasts can do this in the straddle or pike position, which eliminates the help generated from the legs, though it can be done with legs as well. Okay. Ooh, let me actually look at something on my end again. Ooh. Oh. Okay, so I'm just playing around with the brain in OBS. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, that be good. Uh, but I figured people are listening to this get used to the volume spikes because that's pretty much a occurrence that occurs into my streams. So yeah, you heard it from me. You're aware that I'm aware about that, and you know these things happen, but at least if we acknowledge it, they shouldn't happen again. I figured, right? Okay. Also, something else that's sidetrack that I know that I could tell you. As you can see here, difference when it comes to meter, yeah, we use feet when it comes to that distance, and for millimeter, it will be inch because for inch it is smaller than feet in imperial rule versus metric, which is meter, and then smallest is millimeter. So let's go with flying rings, and they have their own article. Damn, I should just read these many articles that they keep on just throwing instead of just being stuck in this. It's mainly just talking about this organization and the scoring system. Flying rings. Flying rings was an event similar to steel rings, but with the performer executing a series of stunts while swinging. It was a gymnastic event sanctioned by both the NCAA and the AAU into the early 1960s. So, yeah, let's just go with NCAA and the AAU until the early 1960s. See if that one makes sense. Amateur Athletic Union. So, what that? Yeah, I don't know much about this, but when it came to pronunciation of certain uh, what do you call it? Anagram? No. But when it comes to pronounce section of words, like uh, like for each one, A amateur, A athletic, U union. When it comes to the point of always just instead of just saying the actual word, you actually will combine it if it's the same word. Like these are two A's, so AAU. It seems redundant, so why not say as here NCAA or NCAA, just say NCAA. Many places use it, but for AAU, I'm not sure. So double AU doesn't make no sense because when does the double count when it came to pronunciation of certain things? It's like the NAACP. So many people have been saying it instead of like NAACP. Um, but I digress to climbing swinging. Climbing swinging, aka, there he goes. Indian clubs was an event in men's artistic gymnastics, sometimes up until the 1950s. It was similar to the clubs in both women's and men's rhythmic gymnastics, but much simpler with few throws allowed. It was practiced, it was included in the 1904 and 1932 Summer Olympic Games. Others meant artistic. Team horizontal bar and parallel bar in the 1896 Summer Olympics, team free and Swedish system in the 1912 and 1920 Summer Olympics, combined the triathlon in the 1904 Summer Olympics, side horse vault in 1924 Summer Olympics, tumbling in the 1932 Summer Olympics, other women's artistic team exercise at the 1928, 1936, and 1948 Summer Olympics, parallel bars at the 1938 World Championships, team portable apparatus at the 1952 and 1956 Summer Olympics, health and safety. Gymnastics is one of the most dangerous sports with a very high injury rate seen in girls ages 11 through 18 compared to athletes who have played other sports. Gymnastics are at a higher than average risk of overuse injuries caused by earlier sports specialization among children and young adults. Gymnasts are at particular risk of foot and wrist injuries. Strength training can help prevent injuries. Gymnasts tend to have short stature, but it's unlikely that the sport affects their growth. Parents of gymnasts tend to also be shorter than average. Popular culture. Books. Little Girls in Pretty Boxes, The Spirit of Gymnastics, biography of Hartley Oil Price by Tom Coughlin, 1982. Films. Oh boy, I'm not gonna go through this, but I go with some things. Flying, pull out. No, full out. My bad. Natalie, not uh Nvidia. Not Nvidia, it's Natalie. Stick it, along with the state of mind. The state of mind versus stick it. Stick It is a 2006 American teen comedy drama film starring Jeff Bridges. Why is Jeff Bridges here? Okay. Television, Make It or Break It, My Perfect Landing. That's a lot more movies than TV shows. Why is there? Why is that? I figure the gymnastics they will for television be much easier for them explain about everything like the roles and performances versus a freaking film. But oh well, it's probably the thing with pop culture and view of gymnastics versus the actual people who do it. But yeah, that was changing. Okay, for video games, whoop whoop whoop, we could go with Capcom Gold Medal Challenge 92 to Beijing 2008. That's an official game. Whoa. Yeah, let me check that real quick. Athens 2004. Sure, why not? London 2012. Okay. All these games. You got the Mario and Sonic, Olympic Games, stuff like that. Too bad they don't have the 2021. That would have been interesting. Then the Summer Games. Oh, well. Maybe I could actually. I could talk a little about games afterwards. See, also, yeah, you have all these other fields that's related to that. And even gymnastics, because as we learn from just gymnastics in general, there's the performance competition side versus the um, practical and applied versions of them. That as they even had a whole column saying fake does not acknowledge other competitions themselves, let alone practical applied um, gymnastics done by I like to say amateurs, but pretty much you had pretty much enthusiasts. That's what was it? Another term versus enthusiast was just amateur. Like, was it amateur writing, amateur learning, amateur uh, gathering? You know that people really don't use amateur much. They feel. But yeah, all these and stuff like that. Yeah, even cheerleading. Along with the references so about the pig, these I have a hard time pronouncing because it's Greek English lexicon. All these from 1 to 42. Oh, 4, 2. Then sources, yeah, you have this, which makes my name. Actually, let me see what it pops up to. I'm bringing this here to see if there's anything naughty. Because even in Wikipedia, you gotta watch out what you look at. Like this. Sorry, viewer, or anybody watching this, because I too am horrified with that picture. But yeah, it's nothing. It's just pretty much this page. Let me go with here. Yeah, Lanningham first. Oh boy, the ground. It's getting close. And you have all this. The secondary education seminar series offers online lessons for free. So yeah, as you see here, and even YouTube videos about people doing gymnastics and stuff like that. You know, there's an applied version of it, but it's too bad. Um, you don't get much if some schmo actually tries to read up about it and try to understand it. But you know, that's the point. You don't necessarily, if you want to be intrigued on in trying to do something like just apply it stuff like that, you know, watch videos first, you know, visualize it, do it versus just reading or hearing about it. So why am I here then? I'm interested with gymnastics. Well, so I could actually get to understanding just some of the boring parts, really. After all, I didn't know all this and the importance from these organizations. And some groups actually count on performance stuff like that. I mean, yeah, they always showcase whenever there's an Olympic where you have the judges and what do you call it, speaker actually talk about each performance in these competitions, especially in the Olympics. You just hear these person just doing a soft, monotone voice, and yeah, it just turns up white noise. I mean, that's what I remember the kid. I just keep on hearing a bunch of white noise and hydrating. Yeah. Hearing a monotone guy is just explaining about their performance and stuff, and then the scoring. Now it's boring. So So at least if a person would rate it in their own volition about this and try to take their time understanding it, which I think it's equivalent to people that are rewatching and hearing the announcer announcing everything, then yeah, they could cherish all this, or at least have uh, think about this while seeing the sport. So at least I could actually say, yeah, these gymnasts that focus on the performance do take in mind that, even though I personally would think that's a bit of a hell. Well, you could appreciate their work under looking at that. Then let's go with the external links. Big. Then International Federation of Athletic Gymnastics official website. British and Brazilian, along with the ones. Oh. There should be more, but I think they're not listed in the external links. I do wonder if it's because of these. Maybe it's under the lists. Because there are certain reasons why things are not listed in external because of how you establish this. I don't know much about it, but that's what I heard about when it came to understanding a bit about how to edit out web pages, especially when it comes to Wikipedia. So yeah, got all these, all that jazz. Oh shit, I'm got a minute. Well, let me go back to gymnastics. We're talking about games, and yeah, these are interesting because these are like event games, you know, where you have movie license games that later became very outdated because of that. Um, later outdated because they just released those tie-in movie, TV show, games just because they could milk some money around that time. Well, you have event games like these, which they still exist, but they got in the same way of movie tie-in games. They gone into um, mobile apps because it's like much more easier to get get money. But yeah, 2008, 2014, and even 2012. These are outdated. 2012, which is the latest one, is 8 years ago, coming to 9. So, it's nothing that interesting. But, these cover arts like this, oh my god, I think you should get a better cover art. It's not the other one, but it's cheesy. Oh my god, I could play the PC. Thanks, Eurocom. Alright, that's pretty much done for me. I'm going to lax. Now, okay, have a good night.